What's up, guys? Welcome to Lunchtime in the Lab. Today's maybe going to be a little bit of an earlier one. The wife decided she was going to run out. She's not leaving me, but she left me for the day. She's going to go do some stuff. I got the baby sleeping, so I got the door open, and the 4-year-old's, well, going on 4. 3-year-old's watching a movie just on the other side of the wall here, so I wouldn't be surprised if he makes an introduction here today, as he's been all over the dang place. But as you guys are joining in, please do me a favor and subscribe. Like the video, please, on YouTube. 180 followers or subscribers or whatever on there, so I definitely appreciate that. And then when you're in here, go ahead and hit me up with the chat just to say hello, at least on there. I appreciate the interaction. It's always nice to see people, chatting along on there and everything. I think I need to, let me just hit real quick on Twitter, retweet here and say that I'm live. There you go. John, appreciate the sub. I love those notifications on my phone during the stream there. Now live. A couple exclamation points. All right. Baby Jort. Little Jort. All right, appreciate you guys. What's up, Legacy? What's up, John? Thanks for the sub there. Appreciate it. Make sure you guys hitting that like button as well. We'll get into the podcast here. Let me get my notes pulled up. Yesterday sucked, guys. Very disappointing. If you're in the Discord, I may have honestly had one of the worst days I've ever had, unfortunately, and obviously that kind of coincides with the the plays on the podcast too. As sometimes I do double dip and utilize them together. But we'll get started on the podcast here. I got 3 plays for you guys. If you're on YouTube, I'm not even running TikTok today. I'm just kind of trying to get this in and out so I can start working on some other things here, get some plays in the Discord, and then, take care of the kid out there. I hear him just jumping on the couch. He knows he's not supposed to do it. What's up, Havoc? All right. Here we go. I'm going to start this bad boy up, and we'll get going. I do like St. Brown. In a builder, I think I have him from like 50 or 60, and I feel really safe about it. But, I mean, his full line looks like it'll probably be pretty good, too. Man, they were pretty defensive. Likely, I got hooked on Likely in the Discord, although we lost it by a little more here. CJ Stroud couldn't throw 1 touchdown. Everybody else did, so that killed that builder. I'm going to come back with another one, though, because I think it was a fluke. It just sucked. It sucked. What's up, and welcome to Lunchtime in the Lab. There it goes. I didn't think it was recording. Your number one gambling podcast for quick picks, now live on YouTube, brought to you by Pony Up. Pony Up is an app that I have my buddy developed there. Basically, you download it for free. I have a link in the description there on YouTube, link in the descriptions on Spotify, Apple, wherever you're at. Free iOS app. You can download it, wager free coins, 0 money spent, but you can turn that into real prizes. So make sure you take a look at that Pony Up app. Today is Sunday, 1/21. I can't believe that it's we're like flying along here. It seems pretty wild. The year does seem like it's going really fast. Before we get into today's plays, we'll take a look and see what we did yesterday. I was just talking to the guys here in the YouTube chat. So they're going to get a repeat here. But crazy games, pretty defensive games yesterday. We had Isaiah Likely over 37.5. I had it in the Discord for 34.5. He ended at 34. Caught the hook there. And then obviously we were a little short. Quite honestly, I just don't like Lamar Jackson, to be honest. You see the guy scrambling. He had a good, one long scramble, and Isaiah Likely standing just wide open. And, that's me from a betting standpoint of not liking the quarterback because he's not throwing the dang ball. Sometimes you wonder, hey, coach, do you know that this team is terrible against tight ends? Maybe you should utilize them. He had the long touchdown. Of course, it couldn't be 1 yard, longer for the Discord to at least cash, but you move on to Aaron Jones. Up into the final drive, he led the team in targets, yet he only had whatever he finished with, not enough. He took a negative 5 yard catch or something like that. That maybe would have had us pretty close to cashing, but just from the jump, he was He caught a couple balls. He caught the one ball for a loss. He caught another ball where he lost just track of where he was and actually landed out of bounds. He had a good game running, though, better than I thought he was going to. And then Luke Musgrave, first drive, boom, catch, 4 yards. Another catch, 7 yards. He had 11 yards in the first drive. Guy didn't have another catch until the last minute or two of the game for only 4 yards or 3 yards or something. Ends at 14 yards. 14 yards on 3 catches is just disgusting, to be honest. So I felt like the looks were all pretty good, but unfortunately they just don't fall. If that doesn't describe gambling, we go 4-0 in the NBA, which I would say isn't my strong suit, and then we turn around to my favorite sport, and maybe I just think it's my favorite. Maybe I'm not even good at it. And we go 0-3, so, but we're back on it, Smart man once said shoot or shoot, and we're going to continue to go on. And, if we stop now, then we definitely lost, so we're going to keep riding it. First play up in the first game, 1 for the first game, 2 for the second. I definitely like the second game a lot more, but, I'm going to ride Baker again. And this one's going to be on ESPN Bet, 260.5. He's at 264, 265 on FanDuel, and on FanDuel. DraftKings, he's about this same line, but he's 140 juiced. He's a nice 110 on ESPN when I made these notes 10 minutes ago. So if it flipped by now, I apologize, but wherever you get him, in the 265 range, 266, 267, something like that, I think it's going to be okay. He's over this number easily in 4 of his last 5 games. 381, 283, 309, and 337 against Philly in the playoffs. He did have that game where he had 137 against the Panthers. I don't know what the hell was going on with him there. Both teams, the Panthers are horrendous. The Bucs look terrible too. I do think he was banged up though, because I know he went into the Philly game with an ankle injury and a rib thing. So maybe he was playing pretty hurt there too. That'll be the excuse that we're going to use. The Lions' pass defense though continues to look bad. They're last in the league in their last 3 games, giving up 346 yards per game in their last 3 through the air. And on the season, they're 3rd worst, giving up 253 yards per game. The last few games, they allowed Matt Stafford to throw for 367. Nick Mullins of the Minnesota Vikings, 396. Dak Prescott for 345. Mullins for another 411. And then they played Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, who we know don't throw the ball very well. So capable quarterbacks. Nick Mullins, I wouldn't even say is, but he had Justin Jefferson, and in one of those games he didn't even have Justin. He didn't even have their number 1 weapon. Who was able to throw 411 yards without his number 1 weapon. Their defense has been getting carved up. Baker has definitely been playing better as of lately, that's for sure. The guy that runs his app just texted me, which is funny. I just got done talking about it. But lost my train of thought though anytime I look at my phone. Anyway, they've been getting carved up. Oh, Baker's got Mike Evans. Baker has Godwin. Otten had a fantastic game last time around. Neither team was really able to run the ball overly well the first time that these guys played. I don't think they're going to be able to do the same. The Lions do have a pretty good rush defense, so they'll be able to shut down Montgomery. Maybe they start using Gibbs and the what am I thinking? I'm thinking of Goff. I do have a Goff play on the other side. Let's see. They'll be able to shut down White and then maybe start using them in the pass game, like those extended pass kind of handoffs is what they call them, So anyway, Baker Mayfield over 260.5. Next play is going to be Patrick Mahomes rush yards. Moving into the next game, rush yards over 27.5. He had 41 in just 2 rushes against Miami. In his last 3 games, he's over in 2 of 3, going 53, 2, and 41. But if you look at Mahomes in the playoffs, just like we talk about Kelsey, playoff Kelsey, right? There's the playoff Mahomes for sure. Playoff Kelsey is interesting. Looking at his yards, it hasn't been on my radar, but it kind of always is, and it was last week. And maybe if I'm talking to Ty or something in Discord, maybe I'll end up with it. But the Bills secondary is banged up, and that might be a good look. which we'll talk about in a second. I don't know why I'm getting into that, but he's over in the playoffs. He's over this number in 8 of 15 playoff games, but he's over it by like a pretty decent amount, like running for like high 40s or more when he goes over. But this year, and I talked about this last week because we hit this bet, really easily last week. He's got his worst receiving core that he's ever had. Kelsey, I mean, just god awful. Like, do you see this man dropping? I mean, he's dropping balls out there that I would catch. I mean, I've always thought I've had some pretty good hands. I'm not gonna lie. I thought, for a bigger guy, I was able to catch. When I was playing, Pee Wee football, they had me. I would go eligible, and I'd catch a pass or two. When I was 9. But this guy's the ball's hitting him in the hands. The ball hits you in the hands. You're supposed to catch that dang thing, and it's happening plenty of times. Mahomes, is a gamer, and he's doing whatever he can to move the ball down the field. They're even running some like plans, QB draws or bootlegs that he's gonna planned run. For some reason, I can't think of like the actual term for it. But he's having to do a lot on his own, and we can get this in one rush, as we can see. He ran for 28 yards last week. We just need 27.5 here, and I think it's going to be a really competitive game between these two. This game is going to be, I hope it's the kind of game that we've seen the last 2 playoff games between them two. I think it's going to be a fantastic game, and the need for him to scramble for a big first down is going to be there all the way down to either, clinch the game so they can knee it, or get that big first down to get them into field goal range, put into overtime or something like that. But Mahomes over 27.5. Quick reminder then too, though, that knee downs do count as negative rush yards, so make sure we're being careful of that. No celebrating if he's at 30 yards or something like that. We want him to have some cushion, because if he needs it out, we're going to end up losing some yards there. So that is one little negative there. Although in college, difference between college and the NFL, sacks do not count as rush yards, whereas in college they do. So that's where it's a little scary taking in college football. We don't have to worry about that in the NFL, obviously. The next play here is a play that I've been looking at, and it's my favorite. It is honestly my favorite play to play, and it has been for years. And I'm looking at it because it doesn't make sense. This play right here, it's on FanDuel, so you have to have FanDuel to take it. If you don't have FanDuel, I apologize. There might be a better version, or you could try to build it maybe. But it is for Mahomes and Allen to combine for 500 pass yards. Doesn't matter how. They each have 250. One has 300 and one has 200. As long as they have 501 pass yards, we cash this bet. It's my favorite. And if you look at this, if you look like the history they have, and you look like the 2 quarterbacks that we have here, like, it doesn't make sense. I've been checking the weather. I've been trying to find like what the field looks like. It's not supposed to be snowy. It's supposed to be clear. It's cold, but that's fine. Both of these teams are used to cold weather. The Chiefs just played like one of the coldest games ever, and then the Bills do this all the time. It's going to be a little windy, but not really. I said last week, I'm like, Mahomes is going to be able to sling this ball, and he did just fine. This is a normal offense if it's cold and it's a little windy. Baker Mayfield and Goff to combine for 500 today is minus 220. We have plus 120 on this. And it gives me caution, because sometimes when a bet feels like it's too good to be true, it oftentimes is. But I mean, this is the bet that I feel like getting, up in the units on. Whatever. I mean, this is an official play. I gave this one out in the Discord yesterday. It was actually higher. It was at plus 130 yesterday. I gave it out in the Discord. Allen's line is 227.5. Mahomes is 252.5. That comes out to 480. So I suppose that's where the line comes in, because if you add up, Baker and Goff today, it comes out to like 520 or 530 or something like that. So the implied consensus line, or whatever the heck you want to call it, does have it as under if they both just barely hit their number. However, Mahomes in his last 5 games has thrown for 262, 245, 235, 305, and 271, which would have us about half or over the half that we need. Allen in his last 5, not as good. 203, 359, 169, 237, and 94. But the Bills have been in a spot where, like last week, they were running the clock out. I mean, Steelers started to come back a little bit, but they were running the clock out. There was no need to pass. That 94 was against Dallas, if I'm not mistaken. James Cook had like 250 all-purpose yards. Dude ran the ball like crazy. Dallas couldn't stop the run. They're not going to be able to run that well against the defense here. They have a fantastic defense. The Bills have had, let's see. And then if you move into my next note here, if you look at the 2 playoff games that these guys have had, I already kind of mentioned it. They've been fantastic. Mahomes in the 2 playoff games that he's had against Josh Allen and the Bills, he threw for 378 and 325 yards. Allen threw for 329 and 287. If you take both of those games combined, they would be over this in 2 out of 2 with the combination of 707 yards in the first game, most recent game, I guess I should say, and then 612 in the first game that they did. So they cleared this number by 112 and 207 yards in the 2 games that they had. Obviously, these games were, I remember, there was the one where there was like 3 touchdowns scored in the last minute or something crazy like that. Kelsey was more in his prime. I think it was this game where he took like a little slant across the middle and like housed it for like 60 yards. Yeah, Kelsey's not doing that anymore. But the Bills secondary is very banged up. They're coming into this game like skeleton crew. And they're going to be playing from behind. And honestly, like the Bills are favored in this one, but I think the Bills are going to be the one playing from behind, or they're going to be a neutral game script. But all of it points to there being passing yards. Mahomes should be able to take advantage of the banged up secondary. And if Allen's playing from behind, he always finds a way to push the ball down the field and get going. As long as we don't get the Allen that is like having a bunch of turnovers, or as long as we're not having, what kills this bet today is a special teams touchdown where we have a loss of a possession. What kills this bet is a 50-yard pass interference where we have a short field, a turnover where we have a short field, and it starts to put a team out of they're up 2 touchdowns and now they're running more than they're passing. We want this to be back and forth. We want it to be a great game. And I think this bet, like I said, has me feeling dangerous and wanting to bet more than I should on it because I'm feeling really good about it. My son's out there shooting hoops and he's telling himself good job when he makes it. I love him. He's the best. All right. So to recap here. Oh, here he comes. We almost made it. Nope, he's not coming. Okay. Sorry. Okay, to recap, January 21st on Lunchtime in the Lab, we have Baker Mayfield over 260.5. Patrick Mahomes over 27.5. Then we have that combo play on FanDuel for both quarterbacks, Mahomes and Allen, to combine for 500 pass yards. My favorite play of the game is going to be our third play. As always, my name is Jort. I am your host. Lunchtime in the Lab be brought to you every day. Thanks for listening. Be sure to follow me on all social medias at Live Joe Bets. In the description, wherever you're listening at, you can get the links for that pony up. You can get the links to follow me on Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, subscribe, whatever the words are for it. 5-star rating on Spotify, all that good stuff to help me keep going for you guys. I'm going to close it out here. As I mentioned, I got the kiddos here home alone. Go shoot some hoops with him. It sounds like he's being active out there. I appreciate you guys. I certainly hope we have a better recap than we did yesterday. And I'm going to get out of here, see what's going on YouTube. And I will be back to hopefully get some more winners for you guys tomorrow. I don't ever know how to end it. I don't like my endings. Oh, we still need that mic. I don't know why I was putting it away. All right, YouTube, you guys got anything? Still a few people in here. Those people that are in here, please subscribe if you have not yet. That would be fantastic. Also, make sure you like the video too. That would be super neat of you as well. 2 likes. I just liked it myself, so a 3rd like. I'm gonna close it out though. If you guys don't have anything, I gotta go check on him. Make sure the baby's still sleeping. And then we still have 3 hours till the game start, but I got some plays coming in the Discord. If you're in there, if you're not, I have a link in the description of this video here. You could check it out. Appreciate you guys. I'm gonna close it out, and I'll see you guys back tomorrow. Peace.